Now at 5, I'm meteorologist Angela Buckman, live at the Indianapolis Zoo for Zoo Boo. It's a perfect night for trick-or-treating. I'll have your forecast.
Ordering the federal government to fund SNAP despite the government shutdown. I'm Emily Longnecker. What one anti-hunger organization says is at stake the longer the shutdown goes on.
I think it's important to meet people in their moments of crisis.
Helping hungry Hoosiers. How one church is now preparing to meet the needs of people across central Indiana starting this weekend. Live from Indy, you're watching 13 News.
Happy Halloween, and thanks for joining us tonight on 13 News at 5 o'clock. I'm Anne Marie Tiernan along with Samantha Johnson, who is in tonight for Felicia Lawrence. She's celebrating the holiday with her family.
Yes, happy Halloween to all of you. Happy Friday night. We know many of the folks are getting ready to go out for trick-or-treating. Maybe you're staying home and welcoming the trick-or-treaters to your house too. Tonight's forecast is very important, and I think so far, Angela, we've pretty lucked out. I appreciate the good forecast.
She joins us live from the zoo tonight. What a beautiful night, Angela.
Yeah, so far so good. We've got lots of sunshine, we've got a few clouds, and we've got lots of great costumes. I don't know if you noticed it in the open. My favorite, there was a sun, a rain cloud, and Dad had the lightning bolt. Excellent, very creative. I do the weather, so that's one of my favorites. And we've got some superheroes here on the dance floor. DJ going. We're going to be having lots of fun here. By the way, this goes until 9 o'clock tonight. And then don't worry, if you are trick-or-treating in your neighborhood and you still want to come have some fun, you will have that opportunity this weekend. It's the last weekend, and the fun starts at 2 o'clock and runs through close both Saturday and Sunday. Poor Russ, who I'm working with tonight, every time I turn around, I'm like, oh, they're so cute. And we're having a good time here at the zoo, and the weather is perfect. Your trick-or-treat forecast has temperatures in the 50s this evening. Won't drop into the 40s until later tonight. Now, it is going to be chilly once the sun goes down, but right now, no coats over costumes, and your Saturday forecast will be in the 30s to start, 50 at noon, and then highs tomorrow in the mid-50s. But I love the fact that we don't have coats covering up these costumes. If they're like me, they've got like a long sleeve underneath and long sleeves, just enough to keep them warm. Hey, trick-or-treaters, wave. We'll get their attention here a little later. There we go. Hi. Oh, they're just so cute. Hi. You dancing? Okay, fun just beginning. We'll have much more in a little bit.
Oh, adorable.
Happy Halloween.
Oh, my thank you, Angela. Oh my gosh, just so, did you see that little lion take a run for it? So cute. All right, we will check back out at the zoo. In the meantime, the latest headlines now on this Friday night about the government shutdown. Tonight, there are a lot of questions about what's going to happen to the SNAP funding during the shutdown. It is expected to lapse starting tomorrow if the shutdown continues.
But just this afternoon, a federal judge ordered President Trump's administration to use a contingency fund to help pay for SNAP benefits. But the administration has until Monday to let that judge know if they're going to do it. So let's bring in our State House reporter, Emily Longnecker, to help us break down exactly what we need to know here.
Okay, so if you get SNAP benefits, you know that the money is loaded every month onto something called an EBT card. And here in Indiana, that happens on the 5th of every month, which is next Wednesday. Right now, if you still have money on that card that's left over from October, don't worry, it carries over. That money can still be used in anticipation of losing their SNAP benefits during the shutdown. We've already seen Hoosiers turning to local food pantries and food banks. Now, Indiana Democrats from the Indiana General Assembly are calling on Governor Braun and the state to send state dollars to help those food banks. This most recent proposal comes after another one floated earlier this week by Democratic State Representative Greg Porter. He called on the state to use money from its $2.5 billion surplus to fund SNAP until the federal government reopens. But some Republican lawmakers had questions about how the money would actually get onto the cards. That's handled by the federal government. Now, these proposals for the state to step in and help come in the same week that a measure failed in Congress that would have continued funding SNAP during the shutdown. We spoke with an anti-hunger organization here in Indianapolis that's already doing work in local schools to help kids have better nutrition. A Longer Table's executive director calls what's happening now unconscionable and says it will be impossible for charitable food organizations to fill the gap once SNAP benefits disappear.
When SNAP funding isn't provided to families, they're going to look for other avenues, and school food will be one of those avenues that will be a really reliable source for kids to get meals every single day.
According to the National Center for Education Statistics, more than 44% of Indiana's public school students qualified for free or reduced meals during the 2021-22 school year. 2024 data from the Indiana Youth Institute estimates that more than 500,000 children in Indiana qualify for free or reduced meals. The Family Social Services Administration, the state agency that handles SNAP benefits in Indiana, they decide who qualifies for SNAP every month and how much money they should get. Now, we asked FSSA about Porter's proposal earlier this week. A spokesperson sent us a statement that said, "We appreciate Rep. Porter's concern, but the quickest and surest way to make sure 600,000 Hoosiers don't lose their SNAP benefits is for him to convince 7 of his fellow Democrats in the Senate to restore SNAP funding." So the wait begins on what the Trump administration is going to do with this federal ruling that says the federal government must use those contingency funds to fund SNAP during this shutdown. They have until Monday to respond as to whether they're going to partially or fully fund SNAP. In the meantime, folks who work in this food insecurity space, like the folks at Longer Table, they say the longer this continues, the more important those school lunches are going to be to those kids who get them, because they say that school lunch might end up being the most nutritious meal, or maybe the only meal a kid gets.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at.
Okay, Emily, thanks for helping us understand that.
Yep.
Yeah, so much more to come on this. And we know community groups, too, they're trying to find ways to step up and fill the need for food during this government shutdown.
Our Jenna Webster today spent the morning with a local church who says they don't know what to expect when the SNAP benefits run out, but whatever it is, they want to be prepared to help.
And now we're ready to rock, okay? 2, 2, 6, and 1.
The day before SNAP benefits are set to run out.
You guys are doing great.
It's all hands on deck to get as many boxes of food packed as possible.
We're just going.
Just an hour of packing will mean hundreds of ways to help.
Hopefully impact some families.
Dave Summerall is the lead pastor at I-Town Church, the group behind this effort.
I think it's important to meet people in their moments of crisis.
Which ones don't have them?
Its Feed Your Neighbor program started during the pandemic.
Nice.
1,500 boxes of food taken weekly to schools and other after-school programs.
We just added 2 more today, so we're up to 56.
More could be added as the government shutdown continues. Federal workers go without paychecks and SNAP benefits aren't paid.
We have no real way to gauge exactly what the need will be, but our commitment is that whatever that need is, that we will do everything we possibly can.
They're ordering more food to stock the warehouse.
Stop by if someone you see needs it. There you go, baby.
And opening those warehouse doors Wednesday and Friday mornings to those who need extra help. Donations to the church are encouraged too.
So many people stepped up.
We want to make sure that we are there for them, and we just believe that no child, especially in the greater Indianapolis area, much less America, should ever go without food.
As boxes are sent out to school distribution sites,
You got it?
it's just one way of getting food in more hands.
It's 12.
In Indianapolis, Jenna Webster, 13 News.
See you, man. Thank you.
I-Town Church will be handing out food tomorrow morning from 10 to 12 for anyone who needs it. Just go to Harrison Hill Elementary School. They also say that food will be available at every I-Town Church campus, and there are several in the area.
As we often see during times like this, Hoosiers just like you really step up to support all of our neighbors.
And tonight we're hearing from the president of Gleaners Food Bank, and he says it's not food that they need right now. What they really need, financial donations.
We can take $1 of their contribution and convert it into $9 worth of groceries that they could buy. That's why we focus on money, frankly, as opposed to food drives and so forth, because we can just acquire more. And we are able to get fresh produce, protein, milk, eggs, and healthy dry goods. A lot of those things don't really come in a normal food drive, and that's what our neighbors want. Our neighbors
It is a massive effort. Gleaners is working with more than 300 pantry partners in 221 counties to identify ways that it can best help them during this time of uncertainty.
And we want to be here too. We are helping you out. If you're looking for a place to get food or if you're able to help a pantry in need, we've got you covered.
That's right. Just scan this QR code there on your screen. When you do so, it'll take you to our website, WTHR.com/SeenOn13, and that's where you can find our comprehensive story and also link after link after link to many different organizations and resources in our community to help fight food insecurity. And due to the government shutdown, there is a need that volunteers are really needed to help with the Veterans Day Parade and also the ceremony that's planned here in downtown Indianapolis. Reserve and Guard personnel usually work that day of the parade, but the shutdown now limits their availability. And now the Veterans Day Council is looking for 20 volunteers for the parade, staging, barricade management, radio communication, and reviewing stand support.
Tomorrow, November 1st, is the beginning of National Adoption Month. And today, Governor Mike Braun signed a proclamation making it official here in the state of Indiana. Several adoptive families and members of the Department of Child Services, they joined the governor at the State House for this signing. The governor said the proclamation celebrates and honors all Hoosier families who are created through adoption.
It also extends our gratitude to families who have opened up their hearts and homes to children in need.
Governor Braun went on to say 1,278 Hoosier kids have been adopted so far this year alone. But right now there are more than 190 other kids still in our state who are waiting on their forever families.
Coming up, signing off on a massive clean energy project.
The $30 billion plan to replace coal with natural gas at an Indiana plant and how it will cause Duke Energy bills to go up. That's ahead at 5:30.
And we have made our way to the trick-or-treat trail here in the Plains, giving out some fun candy. I'll be back with the forecast.
Plus, the push to bring nuclear power to here in Indiana.
We're taking you to the only reactor in our state and sharing the impact of research that's being done there.